Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matt Slater, State Assemblyman for the 94th Assembly District. Welcome to JFK Elementary School in the Brewster School District. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Joined by some great friends and partners and leaders of our community. Michelle Gosh, the superintendent of Brewster Schools, is with us. Tanner McCracken, representing the Mahopac School Board, is with us. Joined by my good friend in local government, Town Supervisor Nick Durante. We also have with us Kira Mulligan from Feeding Westchester and Martha Elder, founder of Second Chance Foods. I wanted to start today about the importance of feeding our kids. And as students across New York gear up for a new school year, including my own kids who start next week, we are ensuring that every child is set up for success. And that's both in and out of the classroom. With the full implementation of universal school meals, more than 2.7 million students all across the great state of New York, and especially here in the 94th Assembly District, will now receive free breakfast and lunch each school day. No means testing, no stigma, just straight food. And that is a huge victory for our kids. And I want to thank everyone who's made this possible. This historic initiative will deliver immediate savings to families. On average, $165 per child per month on grocery bills. Annually, that equates to approximately $2,000 in savings per child, giving families breathing room in their household budgets. And we all know about the ongoing affordability crisis that New Yorkers are facing. The fiscal year 2026 state budget has allocated $340 million to fund this initiative statewide, an investment in our children's future and in family stability. And I think it's important to point out that when you look at the statistics, especially the ALICE report, you see the financial strain that families are on, especially families here in the Hudson Valley. The ALICE report by the United Way of Westchester and Putnam reveals the stark reality. And the latest numbers from 2023 show 38% of households in Westchester County, that would be 144,612 families, fall below the ALICE threshold of financial survival. The number here in Putnam County is also 38%, who similarly fall into the ALICE category. They're struggling to afford housing, childcare, food, healthcare, and transportation costs. These are families that are working hard, yet they're unable to meet basic needs. And they are one emergency away from falling below the poverty line. And the Universal School Meals offers critical relief and stability specifically to those individuals and more. And I think we all understand the importance of hunger, because hunger undermines learning. And you see the incredible professionals behind me today who can talk about this directly. But by ensuring every child receives a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, we're supporting better attendance, higher test scores, and more positive classroom behavior. And I can tell you as a dad what happens when my kids get hungry, and I can't imagine a teacher dealing with a classroom of hungry kids in the same fashion. This isn't just about feeding kids, it's about dignity, it's about fairness, and it's about making sure all of our students have a great shot at success. And so by investing in universal school meals, we're saving families money, we're promoting health and closing education equity gaps, and we're reaffirming our values here in the Hudson Valley, putting kids first. This is more than a policy, it's a commitment to every child, every school, every day, ensuring their incredible success. And again, cannot thank all of the amazing partners that are behind me. This has been a statewide effort, from Feeding Westchester to Second Chance Foods to all of our food pantries that we've partnered with throughout the last couple of years. And of course, hearing from the people on the ground, the people in the classrooms, the people running our school districts, understanding the importance of making sure that our kids are starting off the day on the right foot. And this is just a great celebration to say that our schools are getting ready, and so are our kids, and we'll be ready for them to have a free, healthy breakfast and lunch to kick off this school year. And with that, I want to invite Michelle Gosch up, the superintendent of Brewster Schools, to say a few words. Now, I believe that you've had universal school meals here already, and so Michelle can talk about firsthand the positive impact that she's seen right here in Brewster. Michelle, thanks so much for hosting us today.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm going to stand on this side.
Thank you, Councilman Slater, for choosing Brewster. We're honored that you're here. I also want to thank the administrative team that is here to support this announcement. And I want to also thank our board trustee, Mr. Scott Seaman, who's here, who's been a tireless voice for this issue. So thank you, Scott. And I also like to point out one other special person, our Child Nutrition Services Director, Mrs. Kathy Hancock, who, thanks to her forward thinking, helped us qualify for the community eligibility provision in November of 2023. This allowed for free breakfast and lunch for all students, pre-K through grades 12, and it had instant impact. We saw, of course, that nourishment that students need improve, but more importantly, like Assemblyman Slater said, it removed a bit of the stigma and decreased barriers for students so that we could provide an optimal learning environment. So now to be able to scale that across the state for schools that have not qualified previously is a game changer. It also actually provides a little bit of relief for us too as a CEP school, because we know that sometimes the data doesn't always match up with the need that we see in front of us. So we're not then beholden to some unpredictability, right? And we can just feed students when they're here, get them ready to learn, and to result in all of the positive outcomes that Assemblyman Slater said. So I want to thank Assemblyman Slater for his tireless advocacy for this issue, as we are all certainly partners in fighting food insecurity for our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. And I've known Kathy for quite some time, haven't I? Yeah, since I was a child, my former next door neighbor. So it's great to see Kathy again and the great work that she's continued to do. I also want to invite up Tanner McCracken, representing the Mahopac School Board. And Tanner's going to talk about, this is the first year that Mahopac's going to be able to implement this exact program. And so it's an exciting time for Mahopac. I've heard from many parents in the Mahopac school districts who received the recent notification, very excited to see this rolled out. So Tanner, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Assemblyman.
The Assemblyman is exactly right. This will be the first year where Mahopac will be included in the Universal School Meals Program, and this is a huge win. We mentioned before what this really means for students to go to the school every day knowing they won't be hungry, they'll be well fed with food that is healthy, they can get their nutrition, and the focus can be on learning, thriving, being social, being happy, more smiles, less hunger. This is a really, really good program. So Mahopac was just below the threshold for students from families that were economically disadvantaged, which was a 25% threshold. Mahopac, the state had us at around 22%, so that's only a few percentage points below the threshold when it was passed last year. But think about that. That's still 1 in 5 students that were coming to school that could have really benefited for free meals. Not to mention the fact that all families are struggling right now and looking to save money and to have more affordable pathways. This is a way for families to save money on their grocery bills, knowing that their students will go to school and have breakfast and lunch available. So a few percentage points, but really universal means everybody. So the fact that this is passed now and every student at Mahopac will benefit, we are internally grateful to the Assemblyman for delivering this. The Assemblyman talked about how this is very popular among families. When that notification went out, it was fireworks over in Mahopac about how excited families were about this. I was proud to be the chair of what we call the Advocacy Committee over in Mahopac, that has families on a committee that brings their concerns directly to the board and directly to our administration. And on that Advocacy Committee for 2 years in a row now, the Assemblyman knows well because we sent them a letter, they wanted this. They wanted free school meals. And in a time when politics can be very complex and there's a lot of noise up in Albany, there's a sane representative going to battle for us and our other partners in other districts in the 94th Assembly District that's fighting for policies that will help students and help families. So we are very grateful for the Assemblyman and very excited to be here today. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tanner.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for that. Very, very excited for Mahopac. And yeah, look, this is one of those initiatives that I co-sponsored, I think my second day in Albany. And I always, and I've said this story before, I just want to share one more time. You know, hunger you find in every corner of our community, and it really does hide in areas that you don't expect it. And this particular issue came to the forefront in my own house when my wife and I were asking my son, who we were sending to school with lunch, but he was still swiping his card. And we were asking him, why are you swiping your card? You know, is there something else that you'd like to eat? Is there, you know, did you not like your lunch? Turns out he was swiping his card for a classmate who was showing up to school with no food. And that was right in my son's classroom. And so that makes this issue just incredibly personal for me. And I continue to say up in Albany, I know Kira's been up there with me about this issue, but I've continued to say, if we're not feeding kids, I don't know what we're prioritizing. And this was our opportunity for Republicans and Democrats to come together and just do something that is right. And so this is a huge win in that respect. It proved to our kids that we can actually solve some problems. And most importantly, it's going to help them all with a great step forward towards success. I want to see if Kira Mulligan from Feeding Westchester, you want to say a few words for us? Awesome. Come on up.
Just want to echo our sincere thanks. The Assemblyman's been along with us on this ride for a few years now, trying to get this across the finish line. Feeding Westchester could not be more thankful to Governor Kathy Hochul, the Westchester delegation, but really our own representative here, Assemblyman Slater, who's been at the forefront of this fight for some time. Like we all said today, there should be no shame. There should be no stigma about a child who's hungry at school and wanting to sit with their peers and enjoy lunch. This just makes it so easy for everybody, removes that stigma, and will have huge impact for families in need throughout the county. So we're really excited to see this roll out just next week. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And we also have with us the founder of Second Chance Foods, which is a Putnam County-based not-for-profit right here in the village of Brewster, who's done incredible work tackling food insecurity all across the region. Martha, would you like to come up and say a few words for us, please? Thank you so much.
So, first of all, of course, thank you, Assemblyman Slater. This is such an important bill, and you used some really important words when you spoke about it: dignity and access and nourishment. That's really what Second Chance Foods is about. And so, like, we just love any efforts that take out means testing, that really increase dignity, reduce stigma, and increase access. So thank you. This is really important.
Great. Thank you, Martha. Appreciate it. Thank you. No? Sure? Last chance. Batting cleanup. Okay. All right. And with that, I do want to thank everyone for coming. Does anyone else wants to say a few words about what the program means and the impact that it's having for our kids? No? Well, with that, again, I want to thank all of our partners in government for joining us, our great leaders here in Putnam County, and proof once again that, yes, we can actually solve problems in Albany when we come together and we choose the right thing. Thank you all so much for paying attention to this great announcement. Looking forward to everyone having a great school year this year. Take care.